It's confirmed. Alec Baldwin is officially charged with involuntary manslaughter.
Because two people accidentally shot on a movie set by a prop gun. We need help immediately.
There were live rounds on set. They were mixed in with regular dummy rounds. Nobody was checking those, or at least they weren't checking them consistently. And then they somehow got loaded into a gun.
It wasn't in the script for the trigger to be pulled.
Well, the trigger wasn't pulled. I didn't pull the trigger.
So you never pulled the trigger?
No. I would never point a gun at anyone and pull a trigger at them, never.
So let's get this out of the way quick. What is involuntary manslaughter? Now, I'm not an attorney, so I had to look it up, and this is what I found. Involuntary manslaughter is defined as an unintentional killing that results either from recklessness or criminal negligence or from the commission of a low-level criminal act like a misdemeanor. Involuntary manslaughter is distinguished from other forms of homicide because it does not require deliberate or premeditation or even intent. Since these mental states are not required, involuntary manslaughter is the lowest category of homicide. All right, so basically, somebody died, it was accidental, circumstances are such that with proper caution and steps to kind of mitigate that risk, this death shouldn't have happened, but somebody needs to be held responsible. That's kind of how I'm interpreting this. An example that everybody understands, it'd be like a car crash, right? An accident happened, something happened that resulted in somebody dying, and steps could have been taken to prevent it, but somebody has to be held responsible. All right, so then the next question, what's the sentence for involuntary manslaughter? In the U.S., the punishment for involuntary manslaughter varies by state. In federal court, an involuntary manslaughter charge can result in a prison sentence of 1 to 6 years. Under New Mexico law, where this incident took place, involuntary manslaughter is a felony that is punishable by up to 18 months in jail and a $5,000 fine. But one of the charges on Baldwin and the weapons handler includes a firearm enhancement or an added mandatory penalty because a firearm was involved. The firearm enhancement makes the crime punishable by a mandatory 5 years in jail. So, the fact is, Alec Baldwin did pull the trigger. Go figure. Guns don't just go off. We all know that argument Baldwin claimed wasn't going to hold up. But what about Hannah, the person who was the weapons handler? Will she be charged as well? Before I tell you, just a quick reminder. We have a super secret giveaway that YouTube hates because it has something to do with pew-pewing, and that's really all I can tell you. But to enter for free, just simply click on the link in the description below. All right, the New Mexico District Attorney announced charges in the death of Helena Hutchins. Alec Baldwin was charged with involuntary manslaughter, and the armorer, Hannah Gutierrez Reed, was also charged with involuntary manslaughter. So 2 people were charged so far, and maybe more to come. More on that in a bit. Before announcing the decision, the District Attorney's Office spent time reviewing comprehensive reports submitted by the Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office. And hopefully they make that report public because investigators found 5 additional rounds of live ammunition mingled among the movie's props and costumes. It's a complete mess, totally avoidable. So for anyone that didn't keep up with this incident, here's a couple more facts. It's been over a year since a cinematographer was killed on a New Mexico movie set. Helena, the cinematographer, the victim of this incident, died when Alec Baldwin fired a gun he was holding while practicing a scene from the movie Rust. For the past year, the Santa Fe County Sheriff's Department has spent that time investigating how live rounds made it onto this movie set, which is a huge safety violation. The armorer and weapons handler, Hannah Gutierrez Reed, and assistant director Dave Halls were the only other crew members believed to have handled the gun that fired on set. So are both of them equally to blame here? Halls allegedly handed Baldwin a .45 caliber revolver, telling him that it was in a cold or safe state. Cold or safe essentially means that firearm should not have been in a state where a bullet should have been able to be fired from it. It's just kind of like gunpowder that will give a burn, make the gun go bang because it's supposed to be a prop for this movie. Prior to that, Hannah spun the cylinder to show Halls what was in the gun, and it should have been no live ammunition. Even to this day, Baldwin has maintained that he did not pull the trigger of that gun, once even during a primetime interview shortly following the deadly shooting. The actor originally said that he pulled the hammer of the gun back as far as he could and released it, but did not pull the trigger. But reports prepared by FBI analysts in Virginia, however, cast doubt on that claim. While the FBI did not conclude where the live ammunition came from, agents said in an August report that the pistol, a replica of a vintage Pietta Colt .45, functioned normally when tested in the laboratory. The FBI report also noted that in order for the revolver to fire, the trigger would have been pulled. That doesn't get any more definitive, right? The DA also anticipates prosecuting up to 4 individuals. Baldwin, the weapons handler, are 2 of them, maybe more to come. So I'm assuming we'll know who the others are soon, and hopefully we'll find out more details about this incident. But what I really want to know is, what do you think? Does the crime match the involuntary manslaughter charge? Here's what I think. I think that the involuntary manslaughter charge is happening because an accident happened that resulted in the death of somebody accidentally, but it could have been avoided if basic firearm safety fundamentals had been followed, like treat every firearm as though it's loaded, don't point it at anything you're not willing to kill or destroy, and never commingle your practice or dummy ammunition with live rounds. If Alec Baldwin was a normal guy, would he have been treated differently? What do you think? Let us know in the comments, and be sure to like the video if you want us to keep up with this story.
Do you carry with a round in the chamber? Because if you don't, you need to watch this video right next to me, because it's dangerous not to, and I'll explain why. Yes, you should carry with one in the chamber.